Hi everyone and welcome back to my channel. For those of you who are new here, hi, I'm Exie and it's nice to have you here. So, let's just get into the video. I hate that I'm rocking like this. So, let's go sway. Let's go slowly like this. Maybe this is better. Okay. But I have to record this video right now and this is the only way I thought I could do it. So, let's see how it goes. A few months ago, I deleted most of my social media. I deleted Instagram mostly because that was the one that I used the most. I already didn't have TikTok, but I deleted TikTok years ago. And then I deleted Instagram when I was pregnant with my son. And he was about maybe 8 months pregnant. So it's been a while. He's almost a year. He's 10 months old. So I would say it's been about 11 months since I deleted Instagram. If you're anything like me, then you know how addictive social media platforms can be. So for me, Instagram was like the big thing. Once I deleted it, I felt so much freedom. I felt like I have so much time. But I didn't delete YouTube because I never really used YouTube as a social media platform. I used it mostly for information and more of like an educational platform and entertainment, kind of like a TV channel, If you want to laugh, you want to watch a comedy, you go on YouTube. And the good thing with YouTube is that it's long form, so you don't necessarily have to watch shorts. They have shorts now, but they didn't have shorts before. So because it's long form, it doesn't hurt your attention span as much as like TikTok and Instagram Reels did. Or TikTok and Instagram Reels do. So that's why I kept my YouTube. But then what I didn't realize was that because I deleted Instagram, now I only had YouTube for my entertainment, right? And without noticing it, I slowly became addicted to YouTube. So now I'm not saying that everybody gets addicted to social media. I know a lot of people have that strong willpower where if they want to stop, they stop. They don't really get sucked into doom scrolling and things like that. But I've tried all of that. I've tried, working on my willpower and deciding that I'm not gonna scroll for more than like 2 shorts or whatever, or 5 shorts or 30 minutes. And then before I know it, I'm like an hour in and I'm still scrolling. So especially with shorts and with YouTube, the other thing I noticed is because I used it because it was educational, but what I didn't realize is the educational part of it doesn't really work. Like, I would start looking up things that I didn't need, right? Just because YouTube was there and my eyes needed something to look at on my phone. So I would start looking up things that I didn't actually need, really. Like, I'd have a thought and I'd be like, oh, maybe I should find it on YouTube, things like that. Things that I didn't really actually need. But anyways, I was okay living without this information, But because I had YouTube at my disposal, I was like, why not? So I would listen to countless videos, like self-educational or even like motherhood videos, which are very helpful. Like, I've learned a lot on YouTube, but also I just kept finding more. YouTube knows what you like, right? So whenever they realize, oh, she likes motherhood content, so let's just send her a bunch of motherhood content. So that's what they did. They just sent me more and more motherhood content to the point where, like, it felt like I was learning at first, and then I just felt like I was getting overwhelmed, Like, all this YouTube contents about, all this information about how other mothers are living their lives, what they do and what they don't, and all of that. None of that is important, really. Like, obviously, we want to learn from other mothers, but there has to be a limit. There is no way we can learn from every single video we are recommended on YouTube. So, or any platform, really. So, the trick is, you feel like if you click on this video, then you might learn something, and if you don't, then you might miss out on some crucial information. So you click on it and spend like minutes, sometimes even like hours listening, and then you realize you already knew all of that, So, but I'm not saying like it's not important. I'm just saying that there has to be a limit. And for me personally, I realized that I was addicted when I woke up in the morning one day and I was already kind of working on not being on my phone as much. So I would put my phone under my TV stand and just leave it there, right? But the night before, I wasn't really good at it. So the night before that day, I was watching a video that I did not finish. And I guess it stayed in my head through the night, and I woke up in the morning. The first thing I did, while I was trying to change my son and get him ready for the day and get myself ready for the day, I was trying to find that video so I could listen to it. So I started listening to that video. I started listening to it, and then my son would like cry. So I would pause the video and like take care of him or change his diaper, and then run back to my phone and listen to the video again. And my son was like trying to play with me or show me something, but he really wanted my attention. And I was on my phone, so I would like click the video and pause, and then click and pause, and then I realized that I wasn't even learning anything. I wasn't even listening to the video or the information that was being like shared in the video. I was just like, my mind wasn't where it was supposed to be, which was on my son, you know. It was all over the place. It felt very chaotic because I was trying to listen to this video while my son was trying to play with me. And I realized that my son was watching me, and I was realizing that he probably thinks he has to fight for my attention. So like it's either him or the phone. So there's like this little square box or rectangular square box that's taking my attention from him, and he has to get my attention back, and it's like, you know, he has to fight for it. Maybe I'm just over thinking this, but I didn't like the feeling that my son could think that I would prefer being on my phone rather than taking care of him, or that my phone was more important than him. I was sitting on the floor watching this phone while my son was trying to get my attention, and he was like grabbing my hand, and it just felt wrong. So that's when I realized that, hey, if I can't really put my phone down to take care of my son like for a couple hours, or even like 3 hours, and take care of important things, then I might have a problem. Like, I'm the problem here, and I need to do something about it. I really just didn't like that feeling. So I decided that the best way to deal with this was to delete YouTube. But obviously, it's not that easy because, let's be honest, we all need entertainment sometimes, right? And also, YouTube is important because you need to look up videos. Sometimes you just have to look up how to do something, how to, I don't know, like there are a lot of things to look up, how to hand wash clothes or whatever, you know. So YouTube is an important platform in my opinion. So what I decided to do was that I was gonna just go on the browser, you know, kind of adding a friction for me, so I don't have to just like go immediately on YouTube on the app. If I really needed to go on YouTube, then I would go on the browser, look up YouTube, click on it, and then try to find the video, right? That friction has helped me tremendously, because now I feel like it feels like so much work to go on YouTube that it really has to be something very important for me to be on there. Another reason also why I deleted YouTube was because I was tired of being a consumer. Like, I've talked about this before. I want to create things. I want to create more. I want to use my brain more, you know? I don't want to just sit down and watch things that other people are making. I want to be more of a creator rather than a consumer. Obviously, like, I'm here on YouTube, right? I am aware of the irony of this because I'm on YouTube, but I am not consuming right now. I'm creating. I'm not trying to demonize YouTube at all. Like, YouTube is a great app. I'm very grateful for it. And I've seen so many people be successful on YouTube, and I don't want to lose my attention span anymore. I'm trying to fix my attention span. And the other thing is, I know, like, even though babies, they're small, like my son is 10 months old right now, but I know he notices. And especially now, because he's learning. Like, at 10 months old, almost 11 months old, they learn so fast. Like, he's learning words every day. He's repeating what we tell him. He's understanding what we tell him. So I know his brain is learning things and he's watching me, and I don't want him to think or to feel like he's not as important as my phone. Or like this little rectangular black box is the most important thing to me, or that he has to fight for my attention. So how has deleting YouTube improved my life? Because I've only done it for 2 weeks, so it hasn't been a very long time since I've deleted YouTube. I find myself reaching for books more often than I used to. So I try to put my phone under the TV stand so I don't have it, or like I don't want to walk around with my phone because then it's just easy to look up something and find it on YouTube. But now I have my book on the table where I usually sit, and I have a book in the bedroom. So I'm reading more than I used to. Like, it's been amazing because I haven't been able to sit down and read a book in so long. So just sitting down and having time. Because, we always tell ourselves that we don't have time to do all the things we like, right? We don't have time to read. We don't have time. If you're a painter, you don't have time to paint, right? But the truth is we would have time if we weren't on our phones for so long. So, and that's proven to be true for me because I've always wanted to be able to read more books. And now that I'm not on my phone as much, I now have time to read books. I literally just finished a book 2 days ago, which is crazy because I haven't been able to touch a book since I was pregnant with my son. So it's been a while. When I put my son to sleep, sometimes I put him in the carrier, like in the front side, and I would rock him to sleep. So the easiest thing for me when I would do that would be to just grab my phone and listen to a YouTube video while I'm rocking him to sleep. But now I don't really do that anymore. I reach for my book instead. And it's just like, as we all know, reading is good for us. And honestly, with YouTube, it depends on what you're listening to. Some things can be good for you, but I feel like we listen as like passive listening, which is we listen to all these videos instead of taking actions on what we actually what we learn. We don't. We just keep listening, taking all this information, never taking action because we're just listening. Because there's so much to listen to, right? So much information out there. Anyways. So I find myself reaching for my book more than my phone, which to me is such an improvement. Another thing for me that was a big thing was I realized I started getting these random headaches out of nowhere. And honestly, remember how our parents used to say, it's that phone? They weren't wrong. Like, it was the phone. Because I always had earbuds in all the time from listening to, so I could listen to things. But like, I feel like, at least for me, the earbuds just gave me, sometimes I would have them on for like the whole day and that would give me headaches. So now that I don't wear them as much, I'm actually like, my headaches are gone, which is crazy. But yeah, they're actually gone. So I feel, and I also have so much time in my hands now to do the things I like. So sometimes I just sit down and I realize that I don't have anything to do because my phone is out of reach and I'm watching my son play, and I'll just grab a book and just start reading. So that actually, like, I feel like my life is so much better now because I just have this freedom that I didn't have before. The hardest part for me in these 2 weeks was trying to figure out what to do when I put my son to bed, because usually what I do is I lay on the bed with him and nurse him to sleep. But I always have something I'm listening to because, if I don't listen to something, then I will probably fall asleep too, or I will just I'll just sit there with my thoughts, and that can be scary, So I would listen to things on YouTube. But now I have been trying to practice like this new thing, which is sitting with my thoughts. I know, it's scary. Trust me. Like the first time I did that, I was weirded out. I was like, I just have these random thoughts popping in my mind. And sometimes I lay there with him for like 40 minutes, okay? Because I want to make sure he's sleeping well before I can sneak out. So I'm just like for 40 minutes, just thinking. Just random thoughts popping in my mind. So that's interesting. But it's also good for our brains, to not do anything for a little while. Sometimes I'll even like fall asleep for a little bit and then wake up and then sneak out, But I don't do that every day. Like during the week, I will usually listen to a podcast as well. Because as I said, I'm not trying to demonize YouTube, and entertainment is not wrong. It's not bad for us. But overdoing it, like media overconsumption, is the problem here. But regulating that is not a bad thing. So yeah, like during the week, I would listen to some podcasts, and then usually in the weekends, that's when I don't listen to anything. I would just lay down with him and let my thoughts run wild. So one thing that happened this past weekend was I was trying to put him to sleep. He didn't want to sleep, and I didn't have my phone to listen to anything. So when he doesn't want to sleep, I sometimes have to rock him on the rocking chair in our bedroom. So I was rocking him like that, and I realized that I could sing to him. Isn't that crazy that even this simple act of singing our babies to sleep, at least for me, was like almost forgotten. Like it was. And I remember when I was pregnant, I was so looking forward to singing to him to sleep, because I love singing. I love singing. If you know me, like growing up, I would just sing nonstop, okay? I was that annoying kid that would sing nonstop. So the fact that I feel like I haven't sang to my baby in so long is crazy. So then when I was sitting there and rocking him, I realized that I could just sing to him. Instead of listening to stuff on YouTube, I could just sing to my baby. So I did that. I sang him to sleep. And he eventually fell asleep. And I was very happy because I love singing. And I sang to him all my childhood songs. Like, they were all French songs because I'm trying to teach him French. And I think it's just such a nice bonding experience to be able to sing to him in French. And I'm hoping that he will maybe catch some words, or at least he will remember all these songs as he grows, the older he gets. And, it was such a nice bonding experience for us. I loved it so much. And yeah, I sang him to sleep and then put him on the bed and then snuck out. So that's one of the positives for me that's making me want to keep doing this, hopefully forever. Here are some ways in which I'm trying to make this thing last forever, okay? I want to live like this. I don't want to have to go back to YouTube. I don't want to have to go back to my addiction, because before I would make these decisions, like delete this app for a couple of weeks or a month or whatever, and then I'll go back to it, and then the same thing would happen again, and then I would have to delete it again. I don't want to go back to that cycle. So here are some things I'm doing to make sure that this sticks forever. And I've taken some tips. I've taken these tips from, funny enough, YouTube videos. So here we go. Parking my phone. What does that mean? Basically, like I said, I have a spot for my phone. Unless shh. Parking my phone, which means I have a spot for my phone, right? So you know how back in the days people had phones hung on the wall, whatever. That's basically the idea. My spot is under the TV stand because there's a charger there, so my phone is always charged for when I'm leaving. I can take it with me when I'm leaving, or if there is a phone call, my phone is always ready. And the only exception for that rule is when I have a phone call and I have to do things around the house, or I have a video call because, you know, sometimes family members will call and, you know, they want to talk to Jace. Or sometimes when I want to look up a YouTube video, if I'm trying to learn something or find a recipe, then that's also an exception. But that's it. These are my 3 exceptions. Another tip that I found, which I thought was very, very interesting, I found it under the comment section of a YouTube video. Wherever you are tempted to use your phone, so think your favorite chair, the bathroom even. For me, it's my favorite chair, my nursing chair in the living room, the bathroom, and my rocking chair in the bedroom. Put a book there. So in the bathroom, we have a book, and I put a book on near my rocking chair, and then there is a book on the table. There is a book on my dresser near my rocking chair. So I always have a book available. You know, sometimes your hands just want to reach for something, right? And that thing for me now is a book. That's all I have so far. If you have any tips on how to make this habit stick, please share them down in the comments section for me and for other people who want to do the same thing, who are addicted to social media and YouTube like I was. It's only been 2 weeks for me, and I'm already seeing some progress. I'm already feeling so much better. I think that's all I have for you today. We'll see how long I keep this up, and I will bring you updates by the end of the year. Make sure you like and comment under the video, and make sure you also hit that notification bell so you are notified when more videos come out. Okay, bye.